You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
Welcome to the Michael Rivero What Really Happened radio program.
And welcome to our show today. It is Monday, December 21st, 2020, the start of Christmas week. And we've got a lot to talk about today. Mike is in our control room, twiddling the dials and ready to take care of us if we make some mistakes. This is the winter solstice today. It's also the peak of the Ursid meteor shower. And of course, tonight is the merging almost of Jupiter and Saturn. And you should be able to see them both appearing to be close together. Obviously, they're the same orbital distance apart. They always have been. But this is the closest visual alignment of these two planets since July of 1623. And so it is an astronomical moment. There are apparently a bunch of telescopes around the world who are watching this, and they're putting out webcam feeds, and we've got a link to those on whatreallyhappened.com. And it looks like we're going to have clear weather tonight. So as soon as I'm off the air today, I'm going to be getting out the telescope and taking a look for myself, being the astronomer fan that I am. As you're aware, last week, New England got a major winter snow. It dumped up to 44 inches of snow, killed 7 people. And apparently they're going to get a repeat snowstorm on Christmas Eve, Thursday. So it's getting really wild out there. Here in Indiana, it looks like we're not going to have a white Christmas after all. All right, getting on to the election fraud and the fight since then. The Trump campaign has filed a Supreme Court challenge to the Pennsylvania election results. And they're going to have a hard time dodging this on procedural grounds here, because nobody can claim that a candidate in an election does not have standing to bring a suit regarding the irregularities in the election itself. And the campaign's case is attempting to reverse 3 cases decided by Pennsylvania's state Supreme Court that illegally changed the mail-in ballot laws immediately before and after the 2020 election. And the lawyers contended that the Supreme Court decision are in violation of Article 2 of the Constitution and the 2000 Bush versus Gore ruling. Now, they're going to fail on that last one, because if you read the actual decision in Bush versus Gore, at the very bottom it says, this case cannot be used as a precedent in any future case. And they were sort of covering their rear ends on that one here. So the lawsuit is seeking all possible remedies. And so the fight is not over. And I do have to admit, I admire Trump for his tenacity in this issue. He is in the right. This election was in fact stolen. And apparently Donald Trump yesterday came on out and said we're getting closer and closer in reference to the ongoing challenges of election results in key battleground states here. Okay, and he says, the fake news will not tell you that, which is absolutely true. The fake news is still out there. Oh, Trump is deranged, and, he's just had all these failures, and it's not going to happen here. All righty, story that came out of stationgossip.com. Apparently, somebody just tallied up all the votes, pardon me, and shows that Biden is claiming 13 million more votes than there were eligible voters who voted in the 2020 election. That is the scale of the fraud. Now, if these 13 million votes are from illegal immigrants or they're generated, with counterfeit ballots, is not sure. But the math just does not line up. And again, it's another piece of proof that this election was stolen. It's the most crooked election in U.S. history. Now, Representative Matt Gaetz, who's from Florida, representative of Florida, has said he will challenge the electoral votes when they are counted during a joint session of Congress on January 6th. And he said, on January 6th, I'm joining with the fighters in the Congress. We're going to object to electors from states that did not run clean elections. And as you're probably already aware, many of those states actually sent 2 sets of electors. Of course, the ones who were in favor of Biden were the only ones who were allowed inside the counting centers. The others were kept out literally by armed guards here. All right, another story. This one is coming out of blabberbuzz.com. And apparently, somebody has determined that counties that use the Dominion or Hart intercivic voting machines consistently had Biden winning by 5.6%. This is statistically impossible. And apparently this data analysis was done by an expert who has 30 years practice in analyzing this kind of stuff here. Over in Maricopa County, okay, and this is basically the proof they've got something to hide. They might as well glue a flashing neon sign on their forehead saying guilty as heck here, because Maricopa County is refusing to conduct a forensic audit of the Dominion voting machines ordered by the Arizona Senate. And they're trying to go to court to block it. And the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has refused to comply with 2 subpoenas issued by the state's Senate Judiciary Committee, instead voting 4-1 to challenge the directives in court. Well, if you've got nothing to hide, why are you worried about an audit here? And pardon me, Eddie Farnsworth, who's the Republican chairman of the Senate committee, issued the 2 orders last week. One subpoena called for a scanned ballot audit, while the other asked for a full forensic audit of the ballot tabulation equipment, the software for that equipment, and the election management system. Now, Maricopa County isn't even going to release the scanned ballot images for inspection. You know, they're caught red balloted, so to speak, and now they're trying to just, stall the inevitable. Okay, now this raises an interesting question. What happens if Biden is sworn in to the Oval Office at the end of January, and after that, it is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt the election was rigged? That would provoke a constitutional crisis because there doesn't really seem to be a mechanism in the Constitution to remove an illegitimate president upon proof of a stolen election. Now, of course, we're going to hear from the corporate media and the Democrats. Once he's sworn in, it's all over. There's nothing you can do about it. I am not so sure I am ready to accept that here. Over in Georgia, the Cobb County Board of Elections and Registration unanimously voted to deny a hearing on 3 separate challenges aimed at disqualifying 16,000 voters who don't actually live in Georgia. And again, we're seeing all this fraud taking place, and they're getting ready to do it for that Senate runoff. They're going to do it all over again. Now, the Senate committee hearing on election fraud, let's call it what it is here, included a statement, an opening statement by Trump's lawyer. YouTube is removing that. Okay, now it's popping up in other places around the internet, but YouTube is still out there trying to protect the election fraud and doesn't want anybody who doesn't agree with Biden as president to be silenced. And so YouTube is still, going on out there and just deleting anything that they don't like. And it's an ugly, ugly situation. Now then, apparently constitutional lawyer Ivan Reichlin, citing the United States Constitution and the U.S. Code, says that Vice President Mike Pence has a duty to instruct states to expeditiously send their electoral college certificates immediately if they have not been received. And what he's basically saying is the law prevents Pence from accepting electoral votes from fraudulently certified states. So Pence may decide to invoke that as well. I mean, this is going to go right down to the mat. There's no question about it here. Now, the biggest news for today, and a reminder of just how crooked our entire government is, soon to retire Attorney General William Barr has said that there is no need to appoint a special counsel to probe either the 2020 election or Hunter Biden's corruption. And Barr held a news conference earlier today and said that if he thought a special counsel was the right and appropriate, he would name one. But he says, I just don't see a reason to have to do that here. Okay. Barr also came out and said that there is no basis for the federal government to seize voting machines for inspections. And, the question was whether Trump should implement a plan to seize the voting machines used in the election. And Barr said it should not be carried out. So, I mean, that tells you just how corrupt the system is. No matter how many corrupt officials Trump gets rid of, the ones waiting in line for the job are just as corrupt right there. Okay, Trump, on the other hand, is considering appointing Sidney Powell as special counsel to investigate the election fraud. And now, unfortunately, once Biden becomes president, he can basically undo that and fire the special counsel. But I think this is Trump's reaction to William Barr saying that the special counsel is not needed. And it is an absolute betrayal of the Department of Justice, of the concept of justice itself. It's a betrayal of the American people because, remember, these election riggers, they did not just steal the election. They stole the country from you, the tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. And Lord knows what they're going to do with it. Obviously, if they steal the election and steal the country, it's not for your benefit here. Apparently, Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell have responded to Smartmatic's threat of a lawsuit unless they retract comments they made about the accuracy and verifiability of the Smartmatic voting machines. And attorney Lynn Wood basically came on out, and he's serving as attorney for Sidney Powell, saying, we retract nothing. Go ahead and file your lawsuit. And that's a very, very smart move for him to do, because if it goes to trial, the court will have no choice but to allow the presentation of evidence that fraud did in fact take place. We'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign is told to preserve all documents related to Sidney Powell and Dominion voting systems, apparently in anticipation of litigation by Dominion against Sidney Powell. Anyway, it's going to get ugly out there. All righty. Apparently, this information was first revealed on WVW TV Friday night with Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney, Mary Fanning, and Alex Newman. And according to them, former FBI Director James Comey demanded that the FBI be given the source code to Scorecard, the election hacking application that operates on the Hammer, which is a surveillance supercomputer platform, as a condition of CIA contractor turned whistleblower Dennis L. Montgomery's 2015 FBI and DOJ immunity agreements. And so the FBI had the source code to election rigging software. Now, apparently, they're still digging into this whole SolarWinds Systems hack, which is being waved about as an excuse to go to war with, there's a list now, China, Russia, possibly Libya, possibly Iran. But apparently in researching just how bad the breach is, they've discovered a second hacking group had targeted SolarWinds systems. And this was all about the attack of the supply chain attack, where the malware was inserted in updates to the Orion application that was being sent on out to clients, for an update. So sort of a man-in-the-middle attack here. Okay, this is just really tacky, this next story here. And it comes under the heading of, your public image. What message do you want to send out there? And apparently there was this Christmas charity that was having a party out on the street with decorations and everything, and they were raising money to fight childhood cancer. And Black Lives Matter, basically their protesters crashed this Christmas party. And that's going to send, I don't think that's the message Black Lives Matter wants to put out there. All right, let's talk about COVID. There's a lot of people out there still very, very concerned about what's going on with the vaccines here. The CDC is saying at the end of the first week of injecting American healthcare workers with the Pfizer mRNA vaccine, they had 3,150 injuries, sufficient enough that people could not go to work. They could not perform normal activities. Some required the care from a doctor or another healthcare worker. This is from the CDC itself directly, and basically runs to approximately 3% of the total vaccinated population. And these are just the adverse effects that show up quickly. And there are other adverse effects on that FDA list of 27 that can take months before they appear here. So apparently, the problems are there. Corporate media is trying to downplay it. The social media is basically killing any posts that talk about it here. Over in Germany, a top virologist, Christian Drosten, is saying that Boris Johnson's mutant strain claims, saying that the 70% more infectious is not based on science. It's just a number the politicians came up with. And it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, people are not being afraid of COVID-19 anymore because it really hasn't killed that many people compared to the total population of the country. In fact, it's killed fewer people than the seasonal flu. So it's not scary enough. So they're coming up with a new monster for us to be afraid of. COVID, the sequel, or, COVID 20 or 21 or 23 ad infinitum. And basically saying, that it appears to be another piece of propaganda to say, oh, COVID is now scarier. So go back to being afraid and wearing your masks and doing social distance. And by the way, CDC is saying stay home for Christmas. Fat chance. I don't think so here. All righty. Another story along the same line here. This is from Your Destination Now. Scientists are calling for evidence on this claim that a new COVID-19 variant is 70% more contagious. So they're being called on the lies here. Okay. Now, apparently, Professor Neil Ferguson is calling for Tier 4 lockdowns in Britain until Easter, saying it's needed for months here. Up in Oregon, their Democratic Governor Kate Brown has announced the emergency lockdowns will continue until March. They were supposed to expire with the new year. Instead, she is extending them out there to March. Our economy is not going to survive that, is the bottom line here. Okay, that's just the reality. All righty, another story. This one is coming from Chuck Baldwin Live. And it's titled A Lie Pitched from the Pits of Hell. The World Health Organization and CDC, basically, he's accusing them of orchestrating the biggest global fraud in world history and put the entire planet on military and police lockdown, resulting in millions of lost jobs, millions of people thrown into poverty, millions of people becoming prisoners in nursing homes and even their own homes. The damage from all of this lockdown nonsense exceeds the damage from the coronavirus itself here. And, emotions are running high on all of this. Apparently, again, in Great Britain, there was this Waterloo man who confronted an anti-vaxxer and apparently, chased him down the street with a pickaxe. Now, there were no injuries, but the police arrested the man with the pickaxe. So, people, you got to calm down and think rationally here. Okay, apparently in Parliament Square, there was another confrontation between anti-lockdown protesters and police. 5 police officers were injured, 29 people arrested. And the police are saying, you can't have large gatherings anymore because of the lockdown. Now, we're coming up here on a commercial break. And when we come on back, more news. And as usual, we're going to do news until we run out of news. Then we will open the phone lines for your comments, questions, observations, and opinions. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the Energy Cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Well, they're stealing down on Wall Street and in Washington, too. You know, it makes me wonder, what's a guy on Main Street to do? I've always tried to be an honest, upstanding kind of guy. But I must admit lately, I thought about giving something else a try. Oh, I want to be a pirate. I want to sail the seven seas. Yeah, I want to be a pirate.
Welcome back to our show here. And, you know, those stockings hanging by the fireplace at Republic Broadcasting Network are still, they're kind of skimpy and skinny and thin. And we really have been good little boys and girls at Republic Broadcasting. So hopefully this being Christmas week, you'll think to put a little something in our Christmas stockings. We would deeply appreciate it. We definitely need it. And the postal address to send a check, money order, or if you prefer anonymity cash, is Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, number 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. The phone number where you can make a credit or debit card donation is 800-724-2719, extension 3. And of course, all of this donation information can be found at the top of republicbroadcasting.org, which is the Republic Broadcasting website. The network thanks you. All righty, interesting little story here. Apparently, the United States has announced charges against a Libyan suspected of making the bomb that blew up Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, back in 1988. And apparently, this is the 32nd anniversary of the attack. And Abu Aguila Mohammed Massoud has been charged with terrorism-related crimes, according to Attorney General William Barr, who is trying to look good after bailing on the special counsels for the election and Hunter Biden here. So apparently prosecutors are going to seek the extradition of Massoud to stand trial here in the United States of America. Turning to the international news here, this is from Blacklisted News. Apparently, The Intercept published an expose revealing that CIA-backed death squads in Afghanistan have killed children as young as 8 years old in a series of night raids, many of them targeting madrasas, which are Islamic religious schools. In December of 2018, one of the death squads attacked a madrasa in Wardak province, killing 12 boys, of whom the youngest there was 9 years old. And apparently the United States played key roles in many of the raids. This definitely comes under the heading of a war crime. Okay, Greece may be readying for a war. They have increased their military spending 57% as tensions build with Turkey, in the Eastern Mediterranean. And apparently Greece intends to complete the purchase of 18 French-made Rafale fighters and to acquire new frigates, helicopters, and drones. Apparently Greece is also modernizing its fleet of F-16 fighters and increasing its troop numbers by 15,000. Now, this, of course, is a big headache for NATO because both of these nations are members of NATO, and their conflict could literally start tearing the alliance apart. All right, over at the United States Space Force, they're really turning into a caricature. You'll remember, first of all, their little logo looks like it was taken directly from Star Trek. And apparently they have now decided that their troops are going to be referred to as Guardians, apparently from the motion picture franchise, The Guardians of the Galaxy. And apparently, according to the Pentagon, it took an entire year's worth of thinking to come up with this name. Anyway, so what are they going to call the officers? Star-Lord? All righty, getting into the economic news here, the latest incarnation of the coronavirus relief bill is, interestingly enough, it's almost exactly the deal that was offered to Nancy Pelosi months ago, but she turned it down because she didn't want Trump to have any kind of victories ahead of the election. Well, now the election is over and a presumptive Democrat is headed for the White House. She's been a little bit more relaxed about it. There's still a lot of pork in there, a lot of money for liberal causes. They are talking about how the in the control room, they said Darth Heh. Okay, I like that one. Anyway, getting on back to the COVID relief bill, the COVID relief bill, the stimulus checks to ordinary American citizens are going to be cut in half to just $600. And this has already drawn a critical response from a lot of people. For a lot of people, $600 is barely 1/2 of their monthly rent. And it's prompted all kinds of humorous memes all over social media, saying that, the next round of stimulus will be a lottery ticket, and basically saying that these $600 checks are comparable to Fire Festival sandwiches and a high five while you're drowning. So people, and, understandably, if you think about, it's all your money to begin with. Everything the government plays with is your money that they have taken from you. And they have gorged themselves and had a really good time. And now they're going to drop a few crumbs on the American people. And we're supposed to feel grateful. I don't think so. We'll be back after this commercial break.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website, by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Amazon customer. It's amazing. I just ordered my second bottle. In 1 month, my blood pressure dropped significantly. I no longer get chest pain after I exercise. The reviews are spot on. My target is to get off of BP meds, and if it keeps going like this, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Amazon customer. Extendivite works great. This product has made my blood pressure and cholesterol stable. I highly recommend it. Amazon customer. Excellent herbal formula. I've been using it to keep my cardiovascular system fine-tuned. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3.
Celebrate, let us celebrate, because Christmas time is here. Let's sing and shout, let our voices ring out, let them echo into next year. Celebrate, celebrate, let us celebrate, and as days pass on their way, share the gift from above, the power of love, so that every need.
Welcome back to our show here. And as you've already heard, we talked about this late last week. Biden is already out there with his gun grab agenda. They want to ban assault weapons, which still isn't really defined. They want to ban AR-15 pistols, large magazines. They're trying to disarm the American people ahead of a confrontation between the people and the government here. Now, interestingly enough, the conservatives have been very much opposed to all these campaigns to defund the police, but apparently they have a different position regarding the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. And they're basically saying it's time to defund them. And obviously, with Biden poised to unleash new gun control measures, fears are heightened that ATF will be the tip of the spear. And apparently, the ATF earlier this month raided a producer of so-called ghost guns. They're coming for the guns, people, because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of you. They know that this election was rigged to remove Trump from the Oval Office and install Joe Biden. And they know that people are very angry, and we are. Can't help it. This is not going to go away anytime soon. All righty, let's talk a little bit about computers. And Microsoft says it has identified more than 40 victims of the SolarWinds hack. And apparently, Microsoft said 40 of its customers installed the Trojanized versions of the SolarWinds Orion platform. And apparently, hackers escalated intrusions with additional second stage payloads. And Microsoft said it was able to discover these intrusions using data collected by Microsoft Defender, which is the free antivirus product built into all Windows installations. So they're out there trying to deal with this. I'm glad somebody is here. Story coming out of, well, it's a YouTube video. The cyber pandemic has begun. SolarWinds and FireEye, anything can happen now. And one of the false flags that we need to be aware of as they try and build public support for war with Russia and war with China is a fake massive cyber attack on our own country, a nationwide blackout, for example, the power system or the internet, and say, oh, those evil, evil Russians, look what they've done. It'll be forever before we get the internet up and running. The war is on today here. Google finally got around to publishing details of last week's global outage, which hit YouTube, Gmail, Google Cloud Platform services. And apparently, they're saying the crux of the issue was reduced capacity for Google's central identity management system, blocking any service that required users to log in. And apparently, the root cause was an issue in the automated storage quota management system, which in turn reduced the capacity of the authentication system. The more complex these systems become, the harder and harder it is for to really know what's going on here. Apparently, Amazon Prime, their video streaming service, goes through Amazon Web Services, and apparently they have enough downtime to have produced quite a few complaints from customers there as well. All righty, story coming on out from Wired.com. There was a massive fraud operation that stole millions from online bank accounts. Now, this is researchers from IBM, and they uncovered this fraud operation that used a network of mobile device emulators to drain millions of dollars from online bank accounts in a matter of days. And the scale of the operation was huge. In one case, crooks used about 20 emulators to mimic more than 16,000 phones belonging to customers whose mobile bank accounts had been compromised. In another case, a single emulator was able to spoof more than 8,100 devices. So this is why you have to really protect those passwords, and you should not have them on your cell phones at all. And apparently the thieves then entered usernames and passwords into banking apps running on the emulators and initiated fraudulent money orders that siphoned funds out of the compromised accounts. It's definitely out there. This one actually got covered by the corporate media, but it's worth mentioning here as we are in the Christmas shoplifting season here. Apparently, scammers are sending fake shipping notifications in an effort to steal your information. And apparently these fake shipping notifications bear the logos and name of Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. And it says, we're having problems getting your package to you. Please confirm, your details. Please enter the credit card you used to make the purchase. And of course, you don't want to do that because they will scam off the information. So just be very, very suspicious. In fact, anybody that asks for your credit card information over the cell phone through an email, forget about it right there. Okay, now Joe Biden is apparently considering cyber attacks on Russia's infrastructure, supposedly in retaliation for the SolarWind hacks that breached 200 U.S. federal agencies and firms. And I'd like to point out there's no actual evidence Russia was behind this. And now some people are saying, well, it could have been China. The bottom line is they don't know. It's just a convenient excuse to bash Russia. And even Russia is saying that. Apparently, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov went on the warpath against the West's gunboat diplomacy. He was speaking before Russia's annual assembly of the Council on Foreign and Defense Policy conference in Moscow, saying, "We seek stability and fair opportunities for all states, including, of course, Russia." And basically said that, this is a part of Washington, D.C.'s blame Russia for everything mania. Computer not working, it's got to be Russia's fault here. Too much snow falling, well, it's Russia's weather weapons and so forth and so on here. Now, Google apparently will inform children when their parents are monitoring their account activity. And basically, the company says it's doing it to balance the interest of both parents and children. Now, Google's child notification policies got attention when film director Robbie Starbuck claimed on Twitter that his 7-year-old child had received a warning from Google that his account was being monitored. Now, Starbuck said our 7-year-old son has to have Google for homeschooling. And naturally, they set up the parental controls, but Google sent him an email to tell him his privacy was important to them and that the parents were supervising his account. Well, I don't have a problem with parents supervising children's online activity because children are innocents, and there's a lot of things out there that they should not be allowed to stumble into, like asking for credit cards. There was a story that was out there last week. Apparently, some kid playing a game, a computer game, racked up $16,000 worth of online purchases, inline purchases for the game. And so his parents are a little upset about that. All right. As of the 15th of this month, Yahoo Groups has shut down. And there had been a steady decline in usage over the last several years. So as of the 15th, members can no longer, access the site, send or receive emails from the groups, or access any of the settings that were there. Now, this one is a little bit scary. Apparently, General Electric put a default password in their radiology devices, leaving healthcare networks exposed. And this is a critical vulnerability that threatens the networks of hospitals, which are already being hit with ransomware. And more importantly than that, somebody who wanted to, for example, commit a murder could log into an X-ray machine and turn up the strength of the X-rays to lethal levels. And hardly anybody would be the wiser. So that's very, very dangerous there. Okay, now Apple has done something really cool, and it's set up a feud with Facebook. In the new version of the iOS, when you go into the App Store, there's an added menu item that shows how the app uses the data that it takes from your phone. And some apps say we don't use the data. A lot of them say, yes, it goes to Facebook, it goes to this, it goes to that. Facebook is very upset about that, saying that it's going to impact small businesses. Actually, it's going to impact Facebook's revenue stream here. But Apple is now threatening to pull apps from its store if they don't comply with a new safety feature that allows users to block advertisers from tracking them. So good on Apple for that one. All righty. Anyway, in iOS 14.3, they had this update showing the way Facebook tracks you, and apparently there is a lot. There's the obvious stuff like your phone number, contacts, and email. Apparently, they're tracking your precise location, sensitive info, audio data, emails, and text messages. Apparently, Facebook has their fingers in a lot of your pies. Okay, for those of you using Google Chrome and Edge browsers, you need to be very careful about what add-ons that you put on, because apparently as many as 3 million people have been infected by Chrome and Edge browser extensions that steal your personal data and redirect users to ad or phishing sites. Researchers from Prague-based Avast said they found 28 extensions for the Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge browsers that contained malware. The add-ons build themselves as a way to download pictures, videos, or other content from sites including Facebook, Instagram, Vimeo, and Spotify. And at the time the post went live, some but all of the malicious extensions remained available for download from Google and Microsoft. I remember one that I downloaded a while ago to because YouTube used to allow you to download videos from their page. They no longer allow you to do that, and so there are these third-party applications to capture a video from YouTube. But one of the ones I downloaded was immediately flagged by my security as containing malware. So you've got to be really, really careful about this stuff here. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines, area code 512-248-8252. And something else you may want to think about tonight, as I said, we have a clear sky, and I'm going to be getting out with the telescope as soon as the show is over. This is called the Great Conjunction of 2020. And they're also calling it the Christmas star. This is the closest visible conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 800 years. And, the astrologers are going crazy about it. And the reason they're calling it the Christmas star is because in the language that the original New Testament was written in, there was no plural for star. In fact, star meant anything you saw in the sky outside of the sun and the moon. It even referred to the planets. And so there's a lot of researchers who have pointed to a visible conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn about the time of the birth of the historical Jesus, and said that may have been, what was luring the wise men to come and visit. The Persian Magi, along with everything else, were very much into astrology here. So it's going to be, really good tonight, and it's certainly something worth seeing if you are into astronomy here. Okay, up on the International Space Station, they ran an experiment in which they wanted to see if spiders could spin webs in 0G. And they discovered spiders can spin webs as long as there is a directional light source. Apparently, they use the direction of light to basically say which way the webs are going to be going here. Okay, the British firm OneWeb has launched another 36 broadband satellites on a Soyuz rocket as it pushes ahead with plans to take on SpaceX's Starlink network after a bankruptcy setback here. All right, we're going to start taking phone calls here, and I'm going to start with Mark in Georgia. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
I don't know if you heard. I tried to shoot you an email, and apparently it's not info@whatreallyhappened.com, but I made a mistake. Oh, well. Eric, Van Morrison wrote a song performed by Eric Clapton, Stand and Deliver, that is anti-lockdown. I think you might want to listen to it, and you might want to consider using that as bumper music, because it's got a good message. If you want to be a slave, or do you want to be a free man? And listen to it yourself, make your own judgment. I heard that there's supposed to be 2 other songs, but I need to go to, I guess I have to go to Van Morrison or go to Eric Clapton's own website to find those, because I'm not seeing anything else on. I've listened to it through Amazon, because Amazon will stream a lot of stuff as long as it's not too against the Fourth Reich plutocratic crap. But I just thought you might like to know about that and give it a hear it, and maybe you put it in as a bumper music. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Anything else?
Do you know why the humbug hums?
It doesn't know the words.
That's correct. You remember that from last year. All right, later. All right.
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to go to Peter in Los Angeles. Hello, Peter. I may have to take you through the next commercial break. What's on your mind?
Oh, Mike, I've got three things I'd like to mention, and the one I want to start out with is that half of the states in the United States have announced that white people are last in line to get the COVID vaccine.
Well, if the vaccine is as dangerous as we think it is, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is they're making policy that they think is harming us. That they're basing it on race and that's
well, that tells you how the whole thing is just been politicized. Peter, I got to put you on hold. Don't hang up. I'm going to come right back to you after these few words.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Is your property a financial burden and causing you grief? Have you tried to sell but can't find buyers? Or are you just too busy to sell your property? Don't worry, we have the right solution for you. We buy properties as is, with cash, close in 30 days, and pay all closing costs. Our service is ideal for property owners who are in pre-foreclosure, have high-end repair costs, experiencing financial hardship, going through costly divorces, are relocating, need cash for retirement, suffering family loss, or have tax liens. Whatever your situation may be, we can help you sell your property and get the money you need. If you own a single-family home or multiple family units, call us for a free consultation at 888-910-1037. That's 888-910-1037. Or visit our website at cashingproperty.com. That's cashingproperty.com. Sell your property fast and leave all your worries behind.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Amazon customer. It's amazing. I just ordered my second bottle. In 1 month, my blood pressure dropped significantly. I no longer get chest pain after I exercise. The reviews are spot on. My target is to get off of BP meds, and if it keeps going like this, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Amazon customer. Extendivite works great. This product has made my blood pressure and cholesterol stable. I highly recommend it. Amazon customer. Excellent herbal formula. I've been using it to keep my cardiovascular system fine-tuned. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Wall Street wizards on the land from a mental institution claim private retirement funds. Yeah, they are the best solution. But when the markets crash, we'll be asking where's the cash. Guess them folks in D.C. must be smoking Texas hash. Will Congress pay the piper when all the money's gone? Replace them all, start over while we all still can.
And welcome back to our show here. We're talking with Peter in Los Angeles. Hello, Peter. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Well, Mike, I was talking about that more than half the states in the United States are linking, are going to prioritize giving the COVID vaccine to non-whites before whites, and it's a completely race-based decision, and of course, it's anti-white as can be. And I want to point out that not only is this horrible that way, but remember. This is something that is going to be, with the lockdown and all that, and how the economy is devastated, and how few jobs there will be. You can already see that you can't get a lot of jobs unless you'll have the vaccine. And so, not only is this life-threatening, perhaps, or at least discriminatory at the very least, in a huge way when they think it's life-threatening, but on the vaccine, but it's also going to affect getting jobs as well.
Yes.
That's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is that I just sent this to you, Mike, that they're saying that the banks are saying that your search history, or the tech companies are saying that your search industry is going to affect your credit rating.
Yeah, I heard that.
Just another way of killing the independent media and discriminating against anybody who dissents about anything in this country. I mean, it's just tightening up everywhere. And the last point I want to make is just one of the height of hypocrisy, is that an Israeli general who in the past has advocated for the ethnic cleansing of all Palestinians has been appointed the director of one of their Holocaust museums.
Yeah, I saw that.
What a bunch of racist. You talk about having Lebensraum, land for growth, and Aryan supremacy, and then look at Jewish supremacy, and it's unbelievable. They are as close to the Nazis. They're more Nazis than the Nazis were. But at any rate, it's interesting to watch it. That's my comment for the day, Mike. Thank you.
All right. Thanks an awful lot. We're close enough to the top here where I'm going to put the rest of the phone calls into hour 2 here. Apparently, there's a lot of interesting data coming back from the InSight lander on Mars, including, pardon me, the structure of Mars' interior, and basically looking at what's happening underneath the crust here. And they're saying Mars crust looks like it has 3 layers. And this is the first time they've been able to peek inside the planet. Okay, there's the music. Time for us to take a short break for station identification, and we will be right back.
For over 20 years now, Extendivite has proven time and again it really works. Here is a testimonial from Amazon.com. I received an arterial switch at birth. In my mid-20s, I started getting slight runs of NSVT. Nothing too serious, but enough to cause worry. I started taking Extendivite a little over 2 years ago, and it helped cut the palpitations and NSVT down drastically. This isn't a cure-all supplement. I strongly recommend a good diet and exercise to aid in any heart troubles you may be having, and I strongly recommend giving Extendivite a try. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, putting America first, second, and third. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And welcome back to our show. Hour number 2, we're going to go back to the phones to Al in Canada. Hello, Al. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Mike. I was going to talk about COVID first.
Okay.
In response to something Peter said, I sent you an email about and it was an article that recently appeared on the Daily Mail, and they just can't help themselves. They just like to lie. The media loves to lie. They love to cover things up for other people, and this has to do with that photo that appeared in the New York Times in 1945, and then afterwards it was doctored to show some skinny guy at Buchenwald, right?
Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, so I sent you an email with a couple of links on that. But anyway, up here in Canada on Christmas Eve, they're locking down on Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're south of Sudbury, we're getting locked down for a month. So just to put this in perspective, there have been in Ontario 4,167 deaths, and I believe over 80% of those have been in long-term care facilities, old age homes. And to put it in perspective even more, in 2018, there were over 30,000 abortions done in this province. So what's the real problem here?
Yeah, I agree.
Birth control? Yeah, people that are using abortions as birth control, or the lies that politicians like to spew. Mike, if they stopped testing for COVID, period, would anybody even know that it existed?
No, they wouldn't.
Assuming that it does.
I mean, the vast majority of people who are being told they are COVID cases, they're asymptomatic. And we now know, I mean, even the World Health Organization is admitting the PCR test is useless.
Yep. Yeah. Or it's a false positive, right?
Yes.
Because they've gone, whatever, over 40 cycles on this stupid test that can't even pick up an infection, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I mean, for the last couple of days, I've been talking to a bunch of people asking, like, why would they do this Christmas Eve? Well, to demoralize us. Why didn't they do this a month ago for a couple of weeks if they want to, quote unquote, flatten the curve?
Yeah.
They don't want to flatten the curve. They want to flatten us. And by the way, Trudeau is coming after the guns up here in Canada.
Okay.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah, he wants those guns. Because like you said, they're afraid of us.
Yes.
They better be afraid of us after this crap.
Yep.
They better be terrified. As a matter of fact, they should be so afraid they're willing to resign and move to another country.
I'll be satisfied if they resign.
Had enough.
If they resign, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, resign and just disappear off the face of the planet. Anyway, that's all I have, Mike. I appreciate your time. I'll be listening in. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to go to Glenn in Philadelphia. Hello, Glenn. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Mike. Just brief aside on the Mars research, and you talked about the 3 layers. Apparently, Mars has a creamy chocolatey layer, a middle chewy caramel layer, and a crispity crunchy cookie layer in the center.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely.
But okay, but the other thing that I called about was the Google Assistant and tracking and all that kind of stuff. I do like the feature of being able to talk to Google and ask and all sorts of inane questions that get all these, get answers back. That's kind of nice. But you have to have the Google Assistant feature enabled for that. And since I've done that, Google, I get back from the store and the Google texts me and says, how is such and such store? How is this such and such restaurant? And so I like to go around and I'll park for like 10 minutes in the wine and spirits shop parking lot. And then I'll go over and park for 10 minutes in the gun shop parking lot. And then I'll go over and park for 10 minutes in the strip club parking lot. And then a mosque, and then and vary, give it some food for thought. If I come out of the bathroom and ask me if I remember to put the seat down, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's getting to be that way. Yep.
It reminds me that the cap has to go in the toothpaste, and toilet paper is supposed to go over the top.
Yes. Unless
and
you
it
have
has
a
to
cat.
marry me.
Unless you have a cat. If you have a cat, the toilet paper has to go underneath the bottom, or the cat will just.
No. I have a special doodad with a spring-loaded plastic lid thing that prevents that. Years ago, I came home and found toilet paper pulled all over the house.
Yep.
And they actually make a little plastic doodad that you put over, you put on your toilet roll on, and has a spring-loaded plastic thing that prevents them from doing that.
Well, that's good to know. I don't have any cats, so I don't need to worry about it. But I have friends who have cats who've seen the same thing. They come home and the entire roll of toilet paper is on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, or stretched out across the whole house. That's a good one too.
Yep.
All right, sir. Thank you. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you. Merry Christmas. And we're going to go to Mark in North Carolina. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Mike. A couple of things. First of all, again, I just want to answer. I think it was the guy from Maine last week that called. He said he also started with the fact that I said about the illegal aliens coming through and all that. Again,
yes.
What I said is not that it's a good thing to have illegal aliens coming into the country. Okay. First of all, a lot of them don't even want to come in now because this economy is so bad. The Mexican economy is probably better than ours right now.
Yes.
But besides that, I said that it's not the most important thing right now, as our friend from Florida said. It's because the most important thing now is to stop these lockdowns, stop this COVID nonsense, stop the vaccines, and stop the mask wearing, okay? And start getting back to being America, not being a bunch of cowards afraid of a little virus that's basically about as effective as a common cold.
Yes.
In some cases, it's less severe than a common cold because so many people don't even know they have it. That's my thing, okay? And it brings me back to what Peter said about these, and this gives me a little encouragement about I heard this also about the, black people should be the first people to get it and this and that. See, these people are so inbred that in some ways they're intellectual in certain respects, overeducated, but they have no common sense. The inbreeding probably takes them away from common sense. They don't realize black people are the least likely to want to take this thing right now. Okay?
Yeah, there's a tremendous resistance.
They think back to Tuskegee, the Tuskegee experiment. And nobody wants this thing for the most part, all right? But all they want to do is they want to split blacks and whites up. That's their main goal. They want to start a race war. They know a civil war is very likely coming, with them getting the worst of it, with them sooner or later probably facing the gallows, the guillotine, or something like that, or like the guy said before, leaving the country. All right? They know this is coming. They rather have a race war or even a nuclear war. These people are so crazy. This is why this thing with Russia again. Biden says he wants to hack the Russian computers. Most likely this hacking was done by the CIA itself. If there were foreign actors, Russia's probably one of the least likely be involved. Israel, to me, would be number one. China would be number two. Excuse me. And probably and Britain would be number three. Okay? These would be the most likely. All right? Not Russia. But I believe with the CIA itself, maybe, working together with foreign actors, it's hard to say because the CIA is not a patriotic organization. They don't really work for the United States. They're a globalist organization. They work for globalism. They never should have been created. The real intelligence agency in this country is the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, directly under the military, and used to be under the command of General Flynn. So the thing is, this is the most important thing we're facing right now: the destruction of this country. All right, by enemies foreign and domestic. Whether it's China as the foreign enemy, whether it's Israel, I think it's probably a combination of both, and England. I think those are the most likely. If you go back to Lyndon LaRouche, he warned years ago. I used to think he was a nutcase.
Yeah.
And now I realize the man was right.
Yep.
Absolutely right. And LaRouche Pack today says, and it reminds me of something else, Mike. They took me off of YouTube completely. They deleted all my videos. I lost all my subscribers. And plus, I can't even go to YouTube now. They took away my channel, the whole channel. I can't even go to YouTube, except I can go like I just did with you, but I can't comment. I can't do anything on here now. So I went on BitChute. Since then, I'm going to go on other things like BeLive and a few others because, like I said, these people are no good. They really aren't.
Mm-hmm.
They want to dominate us. They're mostly a bunch of child molesters, globalists, and others. Okay, inbreds, and they're the biggest threats to this country. Not illegal aliens. A few million Mexicans coming in or out is not going to hurt this country, but these people do hurt, okay? And like I said, this economy is so terrible right now, nobody wants to come in here anyway. There's a lot of Americans now moving to Mexico. You watch the
but there's still the problem of the free giveaways. Apparently, under the COVID Relief Act, ordinary legal American citizens are going to get a $600 stimulus check, but apparently illegal immigrants get $1,000.
Well, that's disgusting. That's not only wrong; it's disgusting. And if Congress is able to put this together, they should probably be arrested for treason. Okay, that is disgusting. All right.
Well, they're in violation of Title VIII.
And if Trump does sign it, he should be arrested for treason. Okay. There's no reason for that. That's absolutely garbage. Okay. That I'll admit. But like I said, I don't think many are coming over anyway because the economy is so terrible right now, and that's because of these globalists. All right, these traitors who are doing this to us with this stupid COVID. That's what they're doing. A BS virus that's no more harmful than the common cold. I'm not even going to say the flu. In a lot of ways, it's less harmful than a flu.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what's going on. People don't understand it. So these clowns who go and attack me like that, they don't even understand what I'm saying. Their minds are too small to comprehend what I'm telling them. And that reminds me of somebody else who evidently listens to your show but never calls in. He was attacking me on chat. I had to finally block him because he got on my nerves, saying I'm an enemy of Jesus Christ and an enemy of everything that's decent and this and that, and I'm wasting your time when I call. I'll give you the first name. I won't tell you his last name. His name is Jeff. Just in case you're listening, Jeff. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's not get into a personal, spitball hurling contest. Okay.
All right. But anyway, okay. I understand. I'm not going to get any further. Like he said, he never calls anyway. But I just want to let people know, I don't want illegal aliens coming to this country. I don't want anybody coming to this country illegally. But it's not the threat that this whole COVID is. And I don't mean COVID itself is a threat, the way it's being used. It is destroying this country, Mike. It's so depressing. It's so depressing to see these idiots running around with masks on. And if nothing else, with Trump, I'm still supporting Trump. He declares martial law. I'm supporting him. However, he really pisses me off with pushing his vaccine and bragging about it. That really gets me because this is a dangerous fact. This is why they threw me off of YouTube. The video I made about it. I said about the nurse, what happened really with the nurse. The nurse didn't just faint. She was faint. She fainted because she had a severe reaction. She was to a very nasty vaccine, and that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. I listened to Mike Adams, Health Ranger,
Yes.
and he said what he thinks is this is something that goes into your system, changes your DNA around, and next time you come in contact with another coronavirus, even a cold virus, a regular cold, it could cause terrible inflammation into your body and kill you in a very, very painful way. He's very concerned about it. I'm concerned too. I try to warn everybody I possibly can, don't take this vaccine. This is much more dangerous than anything else. Okay?
Yes.
And that's all, that's pretty much what I wanted to say, Mike. We'll see whether we'll get a reaction now from what I said. But again, I don't want illegals coming into this country. I don't want anybody coming in illegally. But it's not the greatest threat to this country.
No, it is not.
Lockdown
It is a threat.
and the
It is a
globalists-
threat, but it's
It
not
is.
the greatest one.
The lockdowns, the globalists, the gun, they want gun confiscations, and stuff like that. That's the biggest threat to this country. All right, Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks. Oh,
All
by
right,
the way,
thanks enough. Say again?
you know what AirPlay is, by the way? Do you know what AirPlay is, Mike?
Yeah.
I can get you now on my TV from the computer now using AirPlay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even realize that. So I'm watching you on my TV, even though I got you on the computer. All right? All right.
Okay.
Just want other people to know that too. All right, take it easy. Right, bye.
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to switch over to Andy in Texas. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Well, hey, Mike. No, I can appreciate the last call. I can appreciate all these callers. Everybody's got stuff on their mind. I'm thinking, did you see that video? Well, it wasn't a video, but I heard a newscast from Dabu 7 about Mike Pence. As soon as he certifies the presidential electorals in the Senate, apparently he's getting out of Dodge. You saw that?
No, I didn't, but it would not surprise me at all.
Well, he's either going to, I think he's either going to Europe or Israel. I wasn't sure why.
Yeah, he's going to Israel. It's already been announced. He's going to Israel for the week before the inauguration.
Exactly. So he wants to be out of Dodge before all this happens. Now, there's a whole bunch of people fleeing. I mean, look at Barr. He resigned, I guess. Was he fired or resigned? I think he resigned.
He was allowed to resign. If he hadn't resigned, Trump would have fired him. Trump should have fired him a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sessions should have never been put in. I thought he was a good guy when he first got in there. Uh-oh. No, I mean, all these people in Congress, I mean, really, they all should be brought up on treason charges. But who do we go to bring these charges up on? I mean, they own the power structure.
Unfortunately, a revolutionary tribunal.
Exactly, but we don't have no standing in their eyes, and their eyes are the ones who allow us the standing. The courts are trashed. The government's trashed. We have a whole bunch of people that are just following rules, orders, and regulations, or blackmailed, and we know this. And so we don't have any standing here. I mean, they're pushing us to the ultimate, which you know what that is, and that's guns, axes, pitchforks, tar and feathers. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to have to do. But here's my question, though. When this vaccine fully gets exerted out here for everybody, and they find so many people do not want it, because they've allowed us enough time to get information out there, yourself and everybody else on RBN and all these other websites and stuff, that we put this information out here about the vaccine. So, like you said before, when all else fails, they always resort to war. So,
yes.
And they've been masking these nuclear weapons for years. And you know, people like McCain and Mitchell and Graham and Einstein, all these people, all these grandpas and grandmas that are in our Congress, they've been advocating for war the entire time they've been in there. So when we finally catch up to them, so it doesn't matter what Donald Trump does. If Donald Trump gets too close, boom, we're going to have a war. If Donald Trump doesn't do anything, well, then that's what the Democrats want anyway, is war. So if nobody takes this vaccine and all those nuclear weapons are sitting there, I think we're going to be looking at, okay, well, if you're not going to take the vaccine to kill you, then we're just going to nuke you, or however they want to do
Well,
it.
I think that's why they've come up with this so-called mutated strain. They needed a scarier monster. To be very honest and fair, 3 of my relatives have taken the vaccine in the last few days, and so far, no negative reactions here. All right, well, Andy, I got to let you go. We got to take a break for commercials. We got more callers waiting on the line. Some lines are open. 512-248-8252. We'll be right back.
Have you been looking for a trusted long-term storable food company? We have a solution for you. Simply Clean Foods is dedicated to providing the best quality food you can buy next to fresh from a farmer's market. Our line of resealable fruits, vegetables, and meats are suitable for everyday use, and you won't have to worry about throwing away valuable groceries ever again. Our food is completely GMO-free, and our stringent quality controls, plus testing for heavy metals, makes us unique in the storable foods market. Simply Clean Foods' primary focus is to bring clean food to people all around the world and change the way we look at freeze-dried food in our daily cooking. When you purchase from simplycleanfoods.net, not only will you be receiving high-quality food, but you will also be supporting veterans in need across the country and those who are affected by natural disasters. Right now, Amazon Prime members will receive fast 2-day shipping. Go to simplycleanfoods.net. That's simplycleanfoods.net. But do it today.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you. And welcome back to our show here. We're going to go back to the phones to Tom in Florida. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Tom, are you there?
What's coming up? Can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, Mike. Aloha. Yeah, Mike, here, first off, let's go back to this guy from North Carolina before I really get rolling. The guy from North Carolina has called for 2 shows in a row. He's called me and a few other people clowns. He keeps throwing it. Well, he's the clown, okay? He's not a clown. He's a joker. You know, Donald Trump got called the clown, and a lot of people saying that's why they voted for Biden, because he called Trump a clown. Trump should have never allowed him to call him a clown. He should have punched back and say, "You're a bumbling buffoon." That's where Trump messed up.
You're right about that.
He should have called him
I agree with you on that one.
He should have called him a bumbling buffoon. And, you know, this guy here keeps talking about Let me tell you, Mike, There's a guy in North Carolina raped a girl 19 times. Did you hear about it in North Carolina? The
I
illegal
heard about
Mexican
that.
who raped a girl 19 times. Okay, he went this guy. Hey, look, your guy from North Carolina. If one person gets hurt or one person gets raped or murdered, it's one too many. Okay, buddy? So you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
One
but
person is one too many.
I don't think our caller
No,
from
Mike,
North
it's one
Carolina.
is one too many.
Tom, let me make a point here. Okay, I'm going to let you have some time to talk. Let me make a point here. I don't think our caller from North Carolina was in a position to be able to interfere with that crime. I mean, we've had some very nasty crimes happen here in Indiana that I absolutely abhor, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not in the police department. I'm not a detective, and I don't find out about these crimes until after it's over.
That is correct, Mike. Look at Chicago, 900 murders. The year's not over. There's 900 murders every year. It's the same crap. Nothing's changed. Well, we got Lightfoot and all these Beetlejuice and all these freaks and mayors. Like you said, Michael, for 2 years, I've been listening intently. You've been saying these mayors, these governors, and these commissioners need to be arrested for allowance. Sanctuary City Title 8. Nothing has been done. Trump had his one opportunity and one opportunity only. Now it's probably going to be gone. He better do something when he hears this martial law on these cities now, or he's going to be doomed. And by the way, did you hear that earlier today there was a great Mike, you need to check out this guy, Tom McClintock. Have you heard his video on the House floor?
No, I have not.
It's amazing, Mike. I'm telling you, you'll run it tomorrow and you'll be talking about it for an hour. It's called Tom McClintock is on the House floor grilling Newsom in California. He's a Democratic congressman. I mean, a Republican congressman drilling these Democrats like I've never seen a congressman do in my life. I mean, this guy, he did better than Jordan and any of them. It's called Tom McClintock, hammering home the message to what these Democrats are trying to do. So for Mark's point, he should look into it. The guy from Carolina should look into it and see what McClintock is talking about, how they're using this coronavirus to destroy America. You have a congressman that's talking about that. Gohmert's been talking about it. But, having the guy from Carolina always saying, immigration is probably, in my book, number one issue because it does have to do with invasion, coronavirus. Mike, Georgia was lost. Did you see Breitbart in the Newsmax report today? Did you see Breitbart today?
No, I didn't.
Mike? Okay, well, they just said today on Breitbart, you can check it out, archive it. Georgia was lost because all the Chinese who went into Georgia. Almost 78,000 Chinese, though, didn't vote in 2016, voted this time for bumbling Biden in Georgia. And there's a big influx of Chinese in Georgia. And it's all over Breitbart and Newsmax. They were just talking about it earlier this morning. It's the reason that Donald Trump did lose Georgia, the state of Georgia, is because of the Asiatics, not even the Hispanics as much as the Asians. That's why he lost that state, according to Breitbart and Newsmax. You can archive it and talk about it tomorrow. It has to do with the Chinese. The Chinese basically came into Georgia by the thousands and thousands, and they voted for Democrats. They've been brought there for a reason, to turn the state blue. All this crap with immigration is to turn these states blue. Texas, Florida, Georgia. Come on, Mike. It's right there. California is gone forever. You know that. 9 million illegals, and you have what is, Mike? Did you know how many people live in Anaheim, California that are homeless in tents?
Yes, quite a few.
47,000. 47,000 was reported yesterday. I saw that on Newsmax. 47,000 homeless in Anaheim, California alone. We're not talking about the whole state of California. Now, immigration is a massive problem when angel mothers and fathers have somebody in their family murdered by drunk drivers. The crime they commit. Okay, Mike? That's one too many. And the federal government of the United States should be held accountable. And those people should be able to have the right to sue for billions and billions of dollars. Billions of dollars, not millions, but billions. Okay, if that guy from North Carolina or you lost a loved one to an illegal alien for DUI or they got murdered because of robbery or something, you would want billions of dollars.
Let me step in here for a little bit here because we're almost out of time on this segment. The guy in North Carolina isn't saying that immigration is not a problem. He's saying it is a problem, just not the biggest one, and I'm in agreement with him.
Okay, fine. I understand that, but he also mentioned that these people are coming here and they don't something about abortion and the Catholics and then the Muslims are great for this country. I mean, I don't get that. I mean, maybe you know more about it, and I can't remember exactly. I'm a little flustered with that because he was talking about these Muslims they're not that bad, and all these Mexicans they're Catholic they're not bad. It doesn't matter what religion. We weren't even talking about religion. We're talking about illegal immigration, Mike. Like
we're talking about the economy.
Legal immigration is illegal. That's right. It's illegal. And you know what? Like he said, he's right. There's a lot of
Okay,
people who are out of
Tom?
jobs, can't find work, and who would
Tom?
take those jobs.
All right, Tom,
Yes,
sorry, we're out of time. I got to let you go here. We'll be back with more phone calls after these few words from our sponsors.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. I was right 30 years ago in warning the world about threatening lab virus outbreaks, AIDS, and Ebola. I was right 20 years ago when FBI Director Robert Mueller made me a suspect in the anthrax mailings because I warned the Bureau before the CIA's biocrime and Cipro sales psyops happened. I was right about COVID-19 being an AIDS-laced mutagen planned to resurge this fall to excuse officials' profitable depopulation globalization agendas. And I was right about the only safeguards being antioxidants and holy spiritual sustenance. Vitamin C, D, zinc, chlorophyll, oxygen, and oxysilver especially transmits the frequency resonance to neutralize the expanded function bioweapon. Oxysilver is a double superconductor of the healing power of love. It is the first nutraceutical invented to amplify prayer power and the faithful, loving intention of your heart. Buy, try, and stockpile Oxysilver through HealthyWorldStore.com.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Amazon customer. It's amazing. I just ordered my second bottle. In 1 month, my blood pressure dropped significantly. I no longer get chest pain after I exercise. The reviews are spot on. My target is to get off of BP meds, and if it keeps going like this, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Amazon customer. Extendivite works great. This product has made my blood pressure and cholesterol stable. I highly recommend it. Amazon customer. Excellent herbal formula. I've been using it to keep my cardiovascular system fine-tuned. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Forced to carry his own cross while we drive nails in his coffin. You might say it is routine. It happens far too often. Decorated soldier, veteran of the war. Who would have thought that he would be among the sick and poor? Preacher man wags his head while the rich man.
Welcome back to our show here. We're going to go back to the phones to Dan in Texas. Hello, Dan. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Mike, one point I want to make about the PCR testing.
Yes.
Is we keep talking a bunch about false positives.
Yes.
And that's really an irrelevant issue because even if someone gets a true positive, most of these cycles in these labs are being run between 40 and 108 cycles.
No, that's going to come
And
up
if
with a
you
positive
take
no
a-
matter what you do.
Exactly. And the bottom line is is if you take this test and it is a true positive, it is an indication of nothing. It does not indicate that you have any disease, nor does it indicate that you either have or ever have come into contact with this corona COVID-19 virus. Even if it's a true positive, it establishes nothing.
Well, the guy who invented the PCR test shortly before he passed away said it was never designed as a diagnostic tool.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to make that point. And
Yep.
it's fine with me if they tell us white folks we don't have to take the vaccine at all.
Me too.
Fine with me.
Actually.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're going to switch over to Miles in Maine. Hello, Miles. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, aloha, Michael. I just wanted to say I have a little bit of trouble with this guy from North Carolina's objectivity. I mean, he calls in, sets all these various subjects on the table, and then he says, well, and that's not even that important. Well, the fact is that immigration is extremely important. It affects our economy, it affects our security and safety, it affects our public health, as we're seeing. It affects a variety of issues. It's extremely important. But for him to come on and say, he didn't say anything about it. He was just bringing it on the table to discuss. Well, yeah. When you couch it in the position he had, he's comparing it to transgenderism. So for 0.25% of this transgenderism, he's willing to open our borders, expand our health care, our welfare system, expand our, overburden the entire system with all these extra faces that are illegal being here anyway. And I must say this. I don't support transgenderism or any of this stuff in any kind of way. But you know what? Transgenderism isn't a crime. These people are committing crimes. They're destroying families. They're breaking these families' hearts. So there are people that get there and get savagely murdered by these savages that we're just allowing to come in here unchecked. So, I have a whole lot of trouble with this guy's objectivity. And then for him to come back and try and minimalize it, I mean, I don't know if he calls in because he just wants to hear himself on the show.
Okay.
These are not cohesive arguments that he makes. You know what I mean? They're just not cohesive arguments. And I agree with Tom. Tom was exactly right. Now, going to the subject of the vaccination.
Yes.
The COVID vaccination. Well, by decree, I think that blacks should be the first to get the COVID. One, it makes sense clinically. They're a smaller population. They're a smaller, there'd be a smaller quantity that you would find out something on more rapidly. But most of all, wasn't the cry when this all started that blacks were subject to the COVID more than anybody else?
I don't recall, to be very honest.
Yeah, well, that's what I recall. So by their own decree, if we didn't allow that, they'd be looked at as people were being racist, So I think by their own decree, we almost by default have to, no matter what, because if not, they're going to yell the discrimination, the race card, and everything else. And
their solution is just as racist, and they're not just saying that the blacks are going to have priority over the whites. They're saying the Hispanics, will have priority as well.
Everybody does. The Anglo-Saxon, white European is the only one who can't be discriminated against in what we know as America today. I mean, they're the only ones who can be discriminated against. They're the ones who get no job preference. They don't get any of these issues. So what's new? But I mean, by their own decree, I think we're almost in the corner of society where we're just, and the politicians are going to allow it. You hear it all the time. They're thankful for this segment of the vote and that segment of the vote. Nobody comes out and say, I could have never got elected without 60% of the Anglo-Saxon people supporting me. I've never heard it one time. I don't know. Maybe you have. I haven't. But anyway, Michael, I'll just let you go. It's a great show again. And listen to your commentary and all the other great callers there, Peter, Joe, Lenny. I haven't heard from Lenny in a while.
That's
W
true.
from Texas. W from Texas, and of course Laura from Ohio. And I'll wait to hear the big heavy hitters come on in. But thank you so much for the great show, Michael.
Yeah, well,
And
you
don't
know,
forget
I'm
to
missing
donate to
Layla from
RBN.
Canada.
Yeah, Layla too. Yeah, of course. And don't forget to donate to RBN. It's that time of the season, and RBN we need us all to keep RBN afloat. Thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you a lot. Okay, we've got a lot of phone lines open right now. Area code 512-248-8252. If you've been trying to call in without success, now is a good time to try and get through. And we're going to go to Chris in Clearwater, Florida. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Have you heard about the article at Health and Tech News from either yesterday or the day before titled Warning 3,150 Injuries in First Week of Illegal Experimental COVID
Yes.
Vaccines Among American Healthcare Workers?
Yes.
Did you report on that?
Yeah, we did, and it's up at whatreallyhappened.com. And the 3,000 number are those people who had a reaction serious enough where they couldn't go to work and they couldn't do their normal routine. There could be many more people suffering much less severe adverse reactions. And remember, this is coming originally from the CDC, and they have a motive to pad the numbers as much as they can in a favorable direction.
Right, and you wonder how many have not been reported. And in addition to those criteria you mentioned, or the 3,150 as of last Friday, December 18th, that also may have required care from a doctor or healthcare professional, as I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the article does not mention that, when they say it's an illegal experimental COVID vaccine, the Pfizer one they're reporting on, is that it's still considered investigational.
Yes.
And I don't know whether patients are being informed of that. And also, the article mentions that 514 healthcare workers were pregnant as of last Friday when they received Pfizer's experimental vaccine. And the UK is warning pregnant women to not get it.
Yes.
As the article also mentions, but the FDA has not warned against it and hasn't warned against those with allergies, although the UK is. And in the trials, they said that men need to use protection. The AP's reported that those with severe allergies were excluded from Pfizer's trials.
Yes.
Pfizer did not initially warn against those with allergies getting their purported vaccine. So that would be that they've committed willful misconduct, which would
hardly be the first time
them
for a
from,
pharmaceutical industry.
well, of course, Pfizer, getting $2.36 billion in fines over the years. But, the PrEP Act waives liability for Pfizer and the other vaccine makers,
Yes.
unless they've committed willful misconduct, willful negligence. So for Pfizer to not initially warn those with allergies, because those with severe allergies were excluded from trials, well, that would mean that they don't receive liability protection. Unless I'm wrong, I can't find where Pfizer is warned against those with allergies initially. And also it says on the website for what is it? Public on the UK's. Let me pull it up real fast. The UK's health website, Public Health England. The title of the website is "What to Expect After Your COVID-19 Vaccination."
Mm-hmm.
Says, quote, we do not yet know whether it will stop you from catching and passing on the virus, but we do expect it to reduce this risk, end quote. And that was updated last December 7th. So, we already knew that from Peter Doshi, who's
Yes.
assistant editor at the British Medical Journal, saying that the study designs were only concerned with preventing mild illness and were not concerned with hospitalizations or transmission So that's no surprise, but that just needs to be pointed out. And hopefully to the people who would consider getting the so-called vaccines, and Trump, since he has innate immunity, why would he say that he will be getting the vaccine where there's all risk and no possible benefit? I mean, is that the kind of person he's likes to take risks with no benefit?
No, they're thinking public relations, and for all we know, all these politicians who are getting these shots, they're being injected with saline. It's all public relations.
Yeah, well, you wonder, what the placebo is. We haven't gotten all the details of their design study designs. And to what the last caller mentioned about the PCR test, and you mentioned about not being for diagnostic purposes, that one of the co-inventors, Kary Mullis, has said, the late Kary Mullis. From what I've heard, the PCR test is really designed for forensic purposes.
Yes.
If they don't have enough of what's considered enough genetic material at a crime scene, for example, and for say finding genetic material on Mars, or I guess other celestial bodies, but at least on the Viking probes, and that it's been used. But that's what I've heard. I don't know if anyone can elaborate more on that.
Well, I mean, there was no material returned on Viking. There is a Mars sample return mission being planned by NASA that's moving along, and I imagine it would be very interesting to run a PCR test on whatever it brings back. But no, nothing from Viking was returned to Earth other than the data that was sent over the telemetry.
Yeah, what they cooked, I guess.
Yes.
To cook the books, they cooked the sample, I guess. All right. Well, yeah, it's just to briefly mention, all those in the UK were wearing masks, and now we have these new strains, some of which may be more virulent. Well, that might be because of the personal petri dishes promoting pucker putrefaction that people are wearing on their faces may have been the breeding ground for the viral. The viruses and the bacteria being cultured there that could promote the spread of these strains. Because when I look at the data, whenever mask mandates go into effect, sometimes the number of cases goes down. The official story goes, but
yes,
most times the official data shows that the cases go way up right after mask mandates.
Okay. Anything else?
All right. Well, that's all I've got. Nope, that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much. You take
All
great
right.
care.
Thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas. We're going to switch over to Mark in New York. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
A couple of things I wanted to glean over before getting to the main thing of election integrity, and an article that was on American Thinker about Maria Bartiromo and the courage she has, and the list of stuff about related to voter fraud. It just goes on and on. I made a list, and maybe I'll get to some of it. But I called about the social media stuff last week, and I said to a friend, one of my Bernie friends, he's trying to say there's no Trump voter fraud. I said, well, look what the Democrats did to Bernie, And then I said, I said, you're really not American if you vote for Bernie, because the way the left is going, it has nothing to do with America. And he took offense to that. And I was like, why? Trump was right. He should have bought Greenland, and then you can make it socialism, and everybody, all these socialists can move there to Bong Bay or Stonerville or whatever, and just have a whole free-for-all, make it like an Amsterdam, and call it Greenland, and all these guys could go there. And then I realized that they would just end up hating each other, because to me it's not diversity of race, it's diversity of endeavor.
Yes.
That's what makes people interesting. Without us, the people working all the time that are trusting their reps to go into the Congress and to vote their conscience the way, that's why they voted for them. Most people got families, they got work, the two people are working, And you send all these people that aren't working on their lives, improving themselves, just send them to Greenland, right? Buy
Okay.
that place and make it so the whole world, whatever. But whatever. I'd like to move on. You know, nobody talks about this Biden scamper. And the you know how he scampers off the stage? And I
Yes.
saw him that speech where he said only qualified people would be sent to get the free education. And then when he got off the stage, and there was like 6 feet where that was open to him in the tent, and he jogged it. Like my bratty little sister would punch me in the arm if I like tried to run from the kitchen into the bathroom like that, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that's what happened to him. He's so flaky that he did that he would scamper anywhere. He just scampers around the house. Like, hey, look at me, I'm scampering, you know. Somebody, and that's what's weird. And then he talks about how the civility going on, you know, and it kills me, the civility, because if they treated, and Trump said it himself, what if they treated me with kid gloves? You know, there would be no fabricated media narrative that this passionate plea of returning to civility. They created the incivility, this media, every week, right?
Okay,
all right,
Mark.
I'll call back another time.
Well, okay. I mean, if you want to stay on the line, you can.
Unless you want me to hold on.
Yeah, I want you to hold on. We're going to come right back to you after these commercials.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the Energy Cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an Energy Cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much.
Extendivite's 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey gang, Patrick Slattery here with an important message that is pertinent to anyone who shops for groceries, eats food, or just has an inquisitive mind like myself. What I'm about to introduce you to is a segment of our food culture that has been kept so low profile to the American public that virtually no one is aware of how dominant it is on our refrigerator and cupboard shelves. What I'm talking about is the kosher certification industry and a new app, Koshertified, that delivers a comprehensive education on all aspects regarding this little-known practice. After reviewing this app, I found that it is useful for practically anyone who purchases food, regardless of their religious faith or identity. Its database of products not kosher certified is a win-win convenience for all food-conscious people. So why not check out thekosherquestion.com or click on the link at nationalbugle.com and see how modifying your grocery shopping with the Koshertified app can make a huge difference for your future.
Because Christmas time is here. Let's sing and shout, let our voices ring out,
Welcome back to our show, last segment of our program today, and we're still talking with Mark in New York. And Mark, you had some more to share with us.
Yeah. A quick one. This guy, billionaire, Japanese billionaire, running some company, whatever, Asterisk it was called. He's a Japanese punk rocker musician. His parents kicked him out because he wanted to be a musician. Then he was sleeping in a box for years. Then he was sleeping on a couch in a club. He finally got tired of it. He saw some advertisement for a corporation testing kids, and he passed the test, and he became another tech billionaire. And I'd like to see that happen in this country. I mean, I had to teach myself programming. I went to some night school, but it turned around almost overnight, right in my backyard. I was working with Hungarians. They trained me and stuff, and I did well, and whatever. But I wanted to get back to, Hillary going to Washington as an elector. I think that's disgusting. And she went in and she's telling that we have to get rid of the electoral college. I think that is unbelievable. That when she shows up, imagine the fear about her being in the room, and no elector is safe down there. She probably got dirt on everybody. So she's walking in there with this email scandal, the dossier, the spying, disseminating, leaking, voter fraud, uranium. And she should have been convicted felon, so she couldn't, for this reason of her not being able to get there. Instead, she's down there threatening, blackmailing electors and stuff, and then speaking out about that crap. It's terrible. But I also I thought that, and real quick, I know it's almost over, but TRM, Taxation Representation Movement.
Yes.
Now, come April, if they don't take care of this stuff, half the states can just say, whoa, look, if you're not going to take care of it, why should we be taxed? Let's just hold off. We're taxation hesitant, not vaccine hesitant, right? We're just going to hold off on paying taxes, and we're not going to deliver everything when you want it to the cities. And I thought, well, maybe they can get in, the longshoremen will let the ports stay open so they can get food and supplies into the city that way, but via water, through the ports. But 80 million voters still, if we don't deliver and we hold off on the taxes, I don't know. Can they come after us? Could they come after 50 states and say, look, you want to take our guns, you want to take our thing, you can fill in the rest,
Yes.
But I wanted to go in this one other thing, this article on American Thinker. And American Thinker, the kind of Zionists, every once a month they'll put out things about Palestinians suck. But you got to put that aside, because I read that book about persuasion and influence, and that's part of it. Whether it's reciprocity or whatever, and that's why they probably do it. But anyway, the jettison, that's one article about the things they've been doing for decades. The jettison the voter ideas. They implemented motor voters. They reuse old voter rolls.
Yes.
Legal aliens did vote. There's ballot
Oh,
harvesting.
huge
That's
numbers
enough
of illegal
right there.
immigrants right there. Okay, Mark, the music is playing. The show is over. I need to let you go here. Stay tuned for John Stedmiller. Steve Elkins is going to be sharing the microphone with them. I'm sure they have lots of interesting things to share with you. Please spread the word of Republic Broadcasting. Spread the word of whatreallyhappened.com. Please donate. It has never been more critical. We'll be back tomorrow. Aloha, America.